Hello everyone. Yes, you see that correctly. I have purchased a new pen and I want to share it with you today. My name is Simone and I am a fountain pen, ink and journaling YouTuber here, and we want to check out this Benu Talisman that I just purchased the other day from Truphae. This one is a store exclusive fountain pen. It is the Venus here, and I fell in love with the design when I saw it on now I only know the YouTube channel. I don't remember her name. Sorry about that. Toxmox. She unboxed this pen and I was like, wow. I love this amber color. Unfortunately, mine doesn't have a lot of that, but it's still super pretty. I just recently was acquainted with Benu pens. I purchased one for my birthday, which is this one. This one is the Euphoria model, and I very quickly fell in love with this pen, and so I thought I would love to have another of their pens, but instead of the Euphoria I wanted to have the Benu Talisman, and I was torn between this and the Mandrake model. The Mandrake is, compared to this one, is very flashy, turquoise and pink, very loud. But yeah, maybe if I want to add one more to my collection, then that would be absolutely it. So let's look at this a bit more. I'm just going to turn it around so that you can see it from all different angles. You can see it has rounded, this one is kind of rounded. This one is flat tops. The clip is, I think, the exact same as the one on the Euphoria. The colors here, you can actually see through. So let me show this to you a bit more. Uncapped, it looks like this. I went with a medium nib this time. The other Benu pen that I have is a fine. And inside is space for a international long cartridge or an international standard converter. Both are included. And there is also what I really appreciate and enjoy about these Talisman pens. So there is actually a story that is included with this pen that you can read and learn a bit more what exactly the Venus's hair does. So magical attribution ascribed in myths is happiness, luck, and love, and I actually really like that. So what I wanted to show you, however, is that this pen, hello cat, as usual, there is the cat. This pen right here is transparent, so there is some hair from Venus, and you would be able to see the ink shine through. And the same with the lid or cap right here. There is some transparency right here. Well, the whole amber color is transparent, but there's actually some clear sections. So unlike the Euphoria, the color of the design goes all the way through. With the Euphoria, you have this black cap band, basically. It's the same material, but it's definitely a different color. And then the whole section here, from here to here, that is covered by the cap is black. That is not the case with this Talisman. And I know that there's other Euphoria models that are also, the design goes all the way through to the section here. So that's not specific to this pen. I feel like it's really dark on the camera. I hope that is not just, that's just the display and not you. It's really, really strikingly beautiful. I already flushed it because I'm listening to my subscribers and I tested it with an ink. So I can actually ink it up all the way. What I wanted to mention though is what I realized last night, that this is all not plastic. And I find that very, very thoughtful of Benu. There is no, this is paper. I think the reason why I thought about it was like because all of those paper scraps are flying around my house now. But I really appreciate, I'd rather have them be in my living room than all of this be of plastic. And then you have, besides these two ink options, you have a warranty and the product care. And yeah, so I would like to, before I ink it up and show you writing, test it out for real. I want to do some comparisons in size. If you are familiar with Benu, then you know that this Euphoria model is huge. The Talisman is definitely a lot smaller. As you can see, it has some facets right here that are like not even, if that makes sense. So they're versetzt. Now, what's that in English? They change. They're moved a little bit around so that they're not the same. This is how it is in my hand when I uncap it. It's fairly small if I don't post it, and I tried last night, and I feel like this is not a very secure post, and I'm really afraid because it feels, when I put it in here, it feels like it doesn't belong. It's not like it's going in and you feel like, oh yeah, this is a very snug fit. This is how it's meant to be. No, that is not the case at all. And so I personally wouldn't really post it. It also looks a bit clunky and not nice, and it's not secure. So it's definitely a lot smaller than the Euphoria. Let's just compare that uncapped. So if I align the sections in the front, you can see that this pen is almost 1 centimeter shorter than the Euphoria. The section as well is, or this is, I would call this the section, and then there's the threads for the cap, which makes it look really long, is a lot shorter. It stops right here. So the pen body is basically the same length. However, this front part is a lot shorter. So I want to cap it back and then bring in some other fountain pens so that we can check those out. So this is the size. Why does this not stay? Okay, well, then let's put it on the side. I have a Pilot Kakuno, which this reminded me very much of that, maybe because of the cap. I feel like they are similar shapes. Then let's put them on let's line them up all the way in the back. The TWSBI Eco is bigger. I have a Pilot Custom 74 just so that we have some references. And yeah, do we want to see a Kaweco? You know, I'm German, I should know how to pronounce it, but when I'm talking English, I'm suddenly starting to mispronounce all the German names as well. Or a Lamy? Maybe we should. So let me grab those. So here's a Kaweco, the Golden Espresso, AL Sport. It's the same size as the... And we all knew that this was going to be a lot shorter. But still, when we post them, we will see how that actually looks like. And then the Lamy Safari, or the Lamy All-Star is almost exactly the same size. So now let's I am not going to post those that I usually wouldn't post myself. So this is not postable. So I'm just going to put it like this. Then this can be posted or not. Let's try them unposted first so that we have a comparison. Put them all back here. As you can see, the nib sizes are different. So if you were going to touch the paper with the pen and align the nibs on the top, you are closer to the paper with your hand when you use smaller nibs. Just an FYI. Then this one. So I'm going to put it this way, but technically this one is still shorter because the nib is shorter. Same with this one. Same with all of them now. So this one, and then this one is the last one. Wow, the Custom 74 is the shortest. Then we have the Pilot Kakuno as well as the Talisman are similar sized in pen length. It is longer because of the bigger nib. So this one is definitely the shortest. Then we have this one, and then the Euphoria. So now the ones that are postable, I usually post this one. So this is how long this gets now. Let me just turn this cap to the side. Then you can post this. I don't, but this one becomes very big with the post. You can post the Kakuno. We just established that you cannot really post the... I need one of those trays, right? Don't you think? Or is this the new way? And then the Lamy All-Star. I don't really post my Lamys, but if you do, you can. It becomes very back heavy though, which doesn't belong into this video either. Let's put it this way. And then this. So posted, of course, they suddenly are the shortest pens in the bunch. All right. Let me ink it up and show you a writing sample. Oh, I completely forgot. Let's just compare the AL Sport. That only works posted for me, at least. My hands are so big that I cannot really use this for longer writing sessions when it's not posted. So if we put this to the paper, then it's basically almost the same size, tiny bit shorter as the AL Sport. All right, I'm gonna ink this one up for you and then we'll come back with a writing sample. So I am thinking of putting in Wearingeul Infinite Cube in here. I have not used this ink before, so I might take a chance on an ink that is too dry. But if if the rumors, and I definitely can confirm with this pens, are correct, then Benu pens are usually very wet writers. And so I'm just going to trust that if this is an ink that is super dry, the wet writing nib and feed will be able to counterbalance that. And if not, I have grown with some experience. So I'm going to try and fill this pen up with the converter right here. Don't know if you can actually see this, but yep, I'm really able to draw in a lot of ink. But this sample was also quite full. Let me grab my amazingly colorful rag. I really love this. All right. I used to prefer filling my pens with the syringe, but I like that I'm able to already prime the feed and nib when I do it this way. And since these international standard converters usually work really well, that's not a problem there. So I did order a spare Schmidt nib. These are Schmidt nibs, right? Yes. The last time when I think when I shared this one, I talked about Bock nibs, but that's not true. It's Schmidt. But it's not here yet. And I tried to untwist the section here last night, and it didn't really go out as easily as I had hoped for. So I need to fiddle with that a bit more. I am going to use my testing book right here. Let's just see if it writes. I'm going to pull this out. I hate when I write on bumps. So, well, so far it seems like it's going fine. And this one is the model. And it's a fine nib. Let's see how the downstrokes and the cross strokes, all the different strokes are. Well, the upstrokes are quite light and unsaturated. Quite wet. Let me see. So when I do this, it can actually hold up quite well, and it's very smooth to begin with. So when I unboxed this one, I remember I was super disappointed because the nib was quite scratchy. I was able to fix that really easily, and I didn't have any problems ever since, but this one is smooth and writes well right out of the box. The quick brown fox jumps over the lazy dog. Let's try to put our signature here. Yep, that works as well. I am really curious to compare these two. I don't have the same ink in them, so we have to take the line comparison with a grain of salt for sure, because the line width is not only determined by the nib width, it's also determined by the ink. If you have a really, really wet ink, then that's super interesting. So I would, from what I see right here, I would pose the or form the opinion that this ink that is in this pen, which is a fine nib, is wetter than this ink. Not by a lot, but for sure, because you can't even, maybe it's also the nib, but you can't even see a difference in the ink flow when I'm doing this. So I'm gonna just do this. And then I'm gonna write right underneath to see how different they are. So when I'm writing, I do feel like, yes, this is finer, but when I'm looking at it, it might just be the color. No, yeah, so for sure. Let me pull this closer so you can also have a better look at it. Yes, the line width is a bit narrower on the fine and the medium nib. However, I would say, so please correct me if you know this better than I do, that this ink is better than this ink, and therefore it's barely noticeable. I am really happy to add this pen to my collection. I will have a video out, I'm not really sure when, soonish, talking about my fountain pen collection, not showing all the pens, but more on where I'm going with, what I'm currently thinking about, when I'm going to cap off my maximum amount of fountain pens that I want to own, which is really soon. And I can see myself keeping this in my collection long term. So yeah, I'm really excited. I can't wait to film my currently inked video for you for the month of March, but I wanted to get this unboxing out first. Thank you so much for watching. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, there is a really red button down there that you can hit, and I would love for you to follow me. I am sharing videos about fountain pens, inks, and journals, mostly twice a week. And I love talking to you. So if you want to hear more, make sure you're subscribed. Leave a comment down below if you have experience with Benu pens, which is your favorite model, and also which is your favorite design. I would love to know, and I will chat with you in the comments. See you then. Until then, bye.